Maple, are you hungry? Do you... Is it time to be milked? It is so cold. A massive front is moving through the lower 48, and it has brought some really cold temperatures. I'm headed down to the barn. I've got some herbal treatments for the girls to help boost their immunity so they don't get sick. But in the meantime, what I'd like to talk to you about are the 5 most prevalent goat myths. And let's see if there's any truth to them. It's like powdered donuts. No, you already had yours. Here, Charm Charm. No, no, no. Here, Finley. Here, Finley. Finley. There you go. One of the first myths I'd like to discuss is that goats will eat anything and everything. And I might be dating myself a little bit by this next comment, but I grew up watching Saturday morning cartoons, and there was always a goat that ate a tin can. Do you remember that? Yeah, that's what I thought. So the truth is they don't. They don't eat everything. The truth is they're actually super picky eaters. There have been times I've come out with carrots thinking I'm going to give them a treat, and they just turn their nose up at it. The truth of the matter is that goats pretty much know what they can eat. I put them out on pasture, and what do they go for? They try to reach the trees. That's because goats are browsers, not grazers. They'll go for trees and bushes before they'll go for grass. Now, don't get me wrong. They eat the grass out on pasture, and they're looking for more like Johnson grass that's more thick and woody. But the truth of the matter is they would prefer the trees, which leads me to myth number 2. Myth number 2 is that goats make great lawnmowers. No, they do not. As stated before, myth number 1, they would much rather prefer the trees and bushes, and you can put them out on a pasture, but what you're going to see is they eat in clumps and in areas. They're not going to mow it down, say, like a horse or sheep would. So goats don't make the best lawnmowers. Now, if you're trying to get rid of bramble or bushy areas, that is what you want to put a goat in. So they make great bush hogs, not such great lawnmowers. Myth number 3 is that goat milk is nasty and goaty tasting. And I'll be honest, this can be true, but it doesn't have to be true. I know personally for us, it was a little bit of a trial and error thing. When we first got goats, some days or some weeks, the milk would taste really creamy and great. And then there'd be other times that it tasted like you just licked a goat. So after doing some research and experimenting with some things, here are 3 things that we found will give you good tasting milk every single time. Number 1, and most important, make sure your goat's nutrition is balanced, that they have all the minerals that they need, and that they're getting good quality hay. Number 2, that all of the instruments you use in your milking and for storing your milk has been sanitized. And number 3, that after you milk, you get that chilled as fast as you can. And you're going to get really delicious milk if you follow all 3 of those protocols. And so therefore, myth number 3, that it tastes goaty, it really depends on what you're doing with the goat and the goat milk. We find it tastes pretty dang yummy. Myth number 4 is that goats are always trying to escape. Now, I'll be honest, in the time that we've had the goats, there's only been 1 instance that we've had a goat that tried to escape, and that was our buck, Prince. And that was because the girls were in heat. We saw him clear a 4-foot cattle panel. It was crazy. All that cured that was a top wire around the top, and he didn't do that again. Generally speaking, I think if the goats have enough area to graze and to just be, and they're content in that area, I don't think they tend to escape. Now, that's our personal experience, and I know if you've had a different experience, go ahead and comment below. But for us, I've never had that issue. So I would say that's not right. They're not always trying to escape. That doesn't mean if the goat gate's left open, they're not going to run out. It just means they're not actively looking for areas to get out. Myth number 5, the final one, is that, wait, what was it? Goats are easy to care for. Not. That's my personal opinion. I mean, let's define easy to care for. Thor. Hey, Thor, say hi. Say hi to your fans, Thor. No? Okay. When you say easy to care for, what part is easy? The hoof trimming, the giving shots, the watching them when the temperature drops to see if they have pneumonia, the constantly checking eyelids to make sure nobody's anemic from a parasite overload. I mean, let's define easy. I guess it could be worse, but if you ask me, in my opinion, they're a lot more work than chickens. Chickens are the easiest thing to take care of, which is probably why people label them the livestock, the gateway to livestock. So the truth about myth number 5 is, honestly, if you're willing to put in the work, goats are easy to care for. But generally speaking, they're just a lot of work. Now, all that being said, you are going to love owning goats. They are a lot of fun. Ours are super affectionate. They follow you around like puppies. I don't know. I'm just a goat fan. I hope that this video has helped you today. We've gone over the 5 myths about keeping goats and hopefully dispelled them or explained them a little bit better and given you a glimpse into what it's like to actually own goats. Like I said, it's not that easy.